Hello, everybody. A warm welcome to Wisdom from North. Today on my show, I'm very excited because I'm about to meet one of the world's most renowned mediums, Colin Fry in Oslo. Many of you have probably seen him on one of his TV shows, but he's also an author, having written many books, including The Happy Medium and Secrets from the Afterlife. Now, he's currently touring the north of Europe with his show Voices from Heaven, where he helps people connect with their beloved ones who have passed over to the other side. Colin, much welcome to Wisdom from North and welcome to Norway.
Thank you. It's very nice to be back here again.
And you're here because you're doing a tour this fall with a show called Voices of Heaven. And you're traveling around north of Europe and you are communicating with the other side. And you're calling yourself a spiritualist medium and not a psychic medium. Now, what is the difference between that?
Well, I'm an ordained minister, so I'm the Reverend Colin Fry. And I've been a minister for 2 years now. I've been a working medium for nearly 38 years now, a spiritual healer. So, my personal approach to my work is as a spiritualist. So I call myself a spiritualist medium. But, I make it quite clear, that when I'm working for the public, my faith, my religion is my belief. I don't force that on the people that come along, to my shows. We do have a little question and answer session during the course of the show, along with the communication. So, the people can ask me about all different aspects of spirit communication. And if I can, I try to answer them.
So you've had this gift for a long time, ever since you were a little boy. And I heard somewhere that your mother was giving you exercises so you can practice it. Can you tell us a little bit about how it was like growing up as a kind of a different child?
Well, because I didn't feel like a different child. It's one of the questions I quite often get asked is, when did you realize? Well, there was never a point of realization. I don't know anything different. So, other people's paranormal is my normal. And, my mother, bless her, she passed to the spirit herself this March, just gone. My mother took the very sensible approach that she never over-encouraged it, but she never ignored it. So then when I reached the point of about 13 years of age, and it became very, very apparent that it was something that was not going to go away, she tried to guide me the best she could. She very much had this attitude that it's not a toy to be played with, it's a gift, and it's a gift that you have to use properly. So she started guiding me along that path that has, over the many, many years, led me to where I am now.
And how do you perceive the spirits? Do you hear them? Do you see them? Do you feel them?
Very much depends on who I'm dealing with. When people say to me, what is communication like? It's unique every time. And depending upon the capability of a communicator to connect through to me, it varies. Sometimes it's very cryptic. Sometimes it's like, I always say it's like someone's thrown down a 1,000-piece jigsaw puzzle. And I have to, in my mind, try to put as many of the pieces together as I possibly can. And then sometimes it's very clear. It's like me sitting here talking to you. But the way I describe the way that my mediumship works is, I would say it's like part of their consciousness shares my mind for a while. And I translate it and try to present it the best that I can.
So who are you in contact with? Are these people who have died, or is it also angels and other kinds of beings from maybe other planets? Or
Again, different people in my work take a different, varying approaches to this, and I certainly wouldn't be critical or scornful of people that say that they work with angels and other forms of spirit. It's just not my thing, When people say to me, do you communicate with angels? And I say, well, what do you mean by angels? The word angel comes from the Greek and it means messenger. So in that respect, then of course, yes, I do work with messengers.
Well, I guess I've heard that the angel or angelic realm is a dimension that is higher than perhaps the plane that.
I would have to say that I think there's a lot of snobbery in that. You know, it's, oh, I'm dealing with very, very high spirits, you know, and I'm just thinking, you know, I remember I was working in Sweden once and someone said this to me about, you know, I'd done a demonstration and he came, it's always all very well, you know, giving people these messages from their relatives. And he said, but you should be dealing with higher spirits, angels. And I said, well, hang on a minute. And I said, you know, I have a woman that comes to me, I give her a message from her son who was killed in a car crash. What do you think is more important to her, knowing that her son has survived this thing we call death, or there is some higher being that's looking over her? So that may well be the case, but that isn't going to comfort her. She wants to know that her son still exists, is okay, that still's carried on, that she's going to meet him one day. You know, with respect, I would say a lot of this New Ageism is very interesting, but how does it help people? What does it actually do for them? You know, other than maybe sometimes leaving them in this very unrealistic attitude, walking around with their head in the clouds. You know, mediumship, spirit communication has to be real, and it has to be substantial, and it has to be comforting, and it has to start a process of healing, so that somebody can then receive that communication, know their mother, their father, their husband, their wife, their son, their best friend, whoever has survived this thing we call death, and enable them to carry on with their life. You know, as I say, I am not excessively critical of people that want to take a more New Age approach to it, but they do have to sit back and think, how is this helping people? If it is not helping people, then it deserves to be mocked. It deserves to be criticized.
I see. I'm more seeking answers in a way, but I know it's about my mind.
There are no answers.
No answers?
There are no answers. There are only questions.
Oh.
Each question and a response to it leads us on to the next question. Once you've reached a point that you think you know everything, there's nothing left to learn.
Yeah, but I understand that I can't know it all, that there's a great mystery there, but still it's a yearning, I think, in humankind.
But if you take a concept and you make it an absolute, it's like putting it in a box. It has no room for growth. It has no room for expansion. You have to, my attitude in approaching spirituality is it must always be an open-ended book. It has no beginning and it has no end. It is just pages to be read. You know, one of my spirit guides says, the problem with humanity incarnate is you set your sights on horizons and you rush towards them, thinking it's the destination. And then when you get there, all you find is there is another horizon. And what you wasted was the journey.
That is wisdom to me. So, I'm curious, and maybe you can shed some light on this big question. Where do you think we go when we die? What happens when we die?
But we don't die. We change. We transform. We leave behind this casing, this body that has served its purpose for this part of our existence. And then we move on. And what we take with us is our consciousness, our memories, our experience. And we take that as our beginning point for the next stage of our journey. And it is my personal observation and belief that we probably have a time in another dimension of existence, and then we transform again. And we move on to another stage, and then another stage. And the form that we hold is constantly refining.
What about those you are communicating with? Are they kind of lingering here, or have they moved on, or where are they?
They are in that next initial stage of existence, and they're coming and they're sending their thoughts and their feelings and their emotions and their love back, saying, "Hey, look, it's okay. This is actually quite good, and look, I didn't die, I changed, and when it's your time, I'm here waiting for you, and then when you're here, and we're together again as a family group, a community group. Guess what? We can all move on together."
So there are kinds of souls that are sticking together in a way?
Do you have Mormor in the spirit world?
Yes,
And do you not hope to meet her?
I do.
Yes. And she would be there with Morfar?
Yes.
And, and then you're all going to go over and you're all going to get together as a group, and you've probably got brothers and sisters and parents and friends that you want to be with, And so when those groups are together, and then you'll probably meet up with Morfar and Farfar's parents, and you get to meet them, and then when there's these, and everybody then moves on, and then one day, when you're in the spirit world, your mother might say to you, "Do you know what, dear? It's my time to move on to the next stage. You can't come yet, but don't worry, because we've already done this once before. We've already moved into this stage of existence. I'm going to move on to the next stage. Shortly, you're going to be joining me. And you won't grieve, because you'll have already had the experience of being here, passing over, meeting with the loved ones that went before you. This is the dimension of grief. This is the way when we grieve and we're upset when people we love pass over, because we can't see, or many of us can't see clearly where we're going next. And that's what I think my role is. I think that's what my job is. It's to say, don't grieve. To the best of my ability, this is what I can tell you. This is what I can pass back to you from them. This is the evidence that they're giving me, not proof. No medium should ever claim they give proof. We give evidence. Only the people that receive that evidence have the right to decide whether it's proof or not.
Yeah, because I've heard that you don't want too much information before you're going to give a reading.
No, if I'm doing a public demonstration, a public show, and I've got somebody sitting in the audience, and I'm saying, "Oh, I've got your mother with me," and she's saying, "Oh, yes, her name was Ava, and we lived in Gothenburg," and I'm saying, no, stop. Let me tell you, because if you're telling me things, you're ruining your own evidence.
That's true. What if they don't show up? I mean, you're doing all these shows in big theaters. What if nothing happens?
Oh, something always happens. Something always happens. There's always someone that comes through. And me, as a medium, I have to be confident and positive that I will be able to present it clearly on that night. And some communicators are clearer than others.
It seems like many spirits are bringing or still have their personalities on the other side.
Do you know, I have absolutely no problem whatsoever with the idea that a time is going to come when I'm going to put this body aside. And I'm quite happy to leave it behind. It'll probably be worn out by then, And I'm quite happy to leave it behind. But I would have problems if I thought I was going to lose my personality and my character, because that's who we are. This isn't what we are. It's what we think and how we feel. That's what we are. That's the real us.
Because I heard that you were having a spirit coming in who was lying all the time, and then a woman said, "Well, he was lying. It was her father. He was lying his whole life."
Yes, yeah. And it's.
Don't they become better?
I suppose ultimately we do. But if you think that you've got a family relative who was a bad boy or a bad girl in life, and if you think that they're going to pass over and they're instantly going to be transformed into these wonderful beings of love and light, and no, it's not going to happen. They have to evolve gradually.
is it important that we do self-development here on Earth so we don't have to deal with too much on the other side? Because I talked to a medium that she was focused on that's important to do your work here so you don't have to deal with it again and
I
again.
tend to take a lot of guidance from what my guides have told me over the years, and good and clever and wise people I've met in my life. People say to me, have you met angels? Yeah, I've met angels in my life. I've met people that I've just thought, oh my God, you're an angel. You are so kind. You are so wise, so giving. That I've learned a lot from those people. My life journey seems to have been, as I reflect back, a couple of years ago I wrote my autobiography, and I look back and I thought, I seem to have met the right people at the right time in my life. I was having a little conversation a little while back with my nephew, who's 19 now, and he said, Uncle Collin, he said, how do you know so much? And I said, because when I was your age, Ryan, I cultivated the friendship and the company of people who were older and wiser than me. And I learned from them. And then, of course, I've learned from what many people call my unseen companions. Mm-hmm. And, one of the things about, we're saying about development and evolving. And Magnus, my spirit guide, taught me this. He said, go through life helping as much as you can and harming as little as possible.
Yeah, that says it all, doesn't it? So I was wondering, Colin, if you could say anything about me so people could perhaps see how you're working.
I already have. One day you will meet more and more far. And in your life, other than the people you have here, they're the people that you have loved the most.
Yeah, I know.
I've already given you the message.
So do they have a message for me?
Yes. It doesn't matter where you live. You have to make it a home. And you can't be happy unless you're prepared to have a home and not a house. You're very happy, but you're a very unsettled little soul. You're trying to, more and more was telling me, you're trying to find this perfect home, this perfect life, and you have it already. You're just a very unsettled little soul. You smile a lot, but you just need to settle.
Settle in myself?
Find a home and not a house.
Can you be more specific about that?
Try and give me a way of explaining it. Things won't make you happy. People will make you happy.
Yeah, but that's what I'm thinking, or that's my my apartment, for instance, is very small, and I'm very happy there. So I'm not very focused on materialistic things. But is that what they're saying? That's
No. Smile for genuine reasons.
smile for general reasons?
For genuine reasons.
For genuine reasons.
Don't smile because you think that the world expects you to smile. Smile because you want to.
Yeah, I guess I've been smiling a lot in my life. But I've been crying a lot too, and I think they see that. But it's funny that you bring them up because I was asking them last night to show up. So
When I was getting ready to come and talk to you, this lady just said to me, just start talking about me more and more. And I said, okay, that's what I'll do then. Just bring me into the conversation.
that's nice. Are they okay?
Yes, yes, yes.
So no other messages?
No, just smile for genuine reasons.
Well, thank you so much. Is there anything you want to say in the
I'm
end?
looking forward to coming back to Norway in October, and I will be doing tour dates across Norway. And my Norwegian website is www.collinfry.no, and I'm looking forward to seeing you guys.
Thank you so much and good luck.
You're welcome.
And thank you for watching, guys. Much light from Oslo. Bye bye.